Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Jeremy Maxwell here live in our J Cubed studios. You know why we called that?
I would guess it is Jeremy, James, and Jesse.
Yep. J Cubed. So you guys might be wondering who our lovely guest is here with us today. This is the future Dr. Al Cobb, native of Tennessee, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And he is going to school down at, do they call it Life Chiropractic or University?
Life University.
Life University. Yeah. So yeah, we are, as you guys know, we really enjoy having students come up. It's a great opportunity to teach, and our facility more and more is becoming a place to come and just watch and observe. And really, I'm excited about just the opportunities for me to kind of get out and be involved with you guys, more students. We're really trying to build up the community on the club campuses, where I know I'm going to be helping out with Logan here in Chesterfield, Missouri, Palmer, Florida, down in Port Orange, and then you're down in Life. So that's going to be some of the areas that I'm going to be helping out with. So just kind of, you guys get used to it. You're going to see a lot more students around our office as it becomes an opportunity to train and really get the message out about the wellness way. So how did you first get introduced? Did we just come down and start the club? And
No, I was actually at a continued education event in Tennessee, and Dr. Patrick came. I was hanging out in an office there in Knoxville, Tennessee, and they hosted a continued ed. And Dr. Patrick was there and taught for 8 hours one day on everything.
He can go.
Mainly
he
cancer
can go
and hormones.
But was that Dr. Ken Ledoux or Jason Smith?
That hosted it?
Yeah.
Or it was Dr. Pete Sulak.
Pete Sulak. Okay.
It wasn't a wellness program.
Okay. I know when he did that seminar. That's right. All right. Well, hey, thanks for everyone jumping on. Hello, Jerry and Sky. Ag Crucial. Did I say that right? You're the first time I've ever seen you on there. So when you guys hop on, if you're new, let me know. You can put a red heart if you're new. If you're kind of been working with some Wellness Way docs already, a little green heart. Love to know where you're from. There is also the future Dr. Ashley Walker.
Yes.
So that's awesome. So hello, John. Good to have you on. So tonight, I'm going to share a couple of things with you guys about hormones, male and female. So I got a couple of cases I want to go through, because obviously we think differently, right? We used to call this Think Differently Thursday. So don't want to stray from that. So today we'll be trying to encourage you guys to think differently. Dr. Flynn talks a lot about a different perspective. And so I want to give that to you today when it comes to both male and female hormones. We'll really try to keep it simple. So as always, I encourage you guys to like and share the videos and tag somebody. So obviously tonight is going to be kind of a little more male hormone oriented with a little bit of some female stuff. So if you know somebody that has low testosterone, even male or female, tag them in this. If you know a female that has PCOS and has been told there's nothing that can be done about it, tag them in this. Because guess what? We disagree, right?
We disagree.
We know there is a better way. It just takes a different perspective, a different application to the human body. And so one of the common things that we hear about men as we get older when it comes to our testosterone would be what? It gets less or decreases with age. Well, again, we disagree. I really don't believe that the body would naturally do that. So we have to step back and go, okay, what's interfering with the body's natural ability to produce the hormone? So last week we talked about 3 T's. We're going to talk about trauma, we're going to talk about toxins, and thoughts or stress. Hey, what's up, Gary? So those 3 things interfere with our ability to function normally. So, again, what we commonly hear within the medical profession, or what we refer to as the fire department, is as we age, our testosterone hormone will go down. So, interesting case, I had a recent 83-year-old male come in. I've been working with him off and on for about 2.5 years. His main concern coming in was just he kind of had like a weird knee pain that he'd had everybody look at, couldn't get rid of it. A little bit of some low back pain, and he was just curious about diabetes. He wasn't really overweight, pretty fit guy, but so we tested him, and sure enough, for a fairly fit man, he was kind of pre-diabetic. Had some high A1C, loved his sugar, and had some stress. He'd lost his wife a couple of years back, and so I can see how that can contribute to that. But we really never tested his hormones in the beginning, because he was like, "Hi, everything's working fine. I'm not worried about that, but I have some other concerns." So we did that, and so just recently I said, "Hey, everything else is looking pretty good. You're moving in the right direction. Let's just make sure, from a hormone perspective and a prostate perspective, let's make sure you're on your A game." And so we did that. And so I'm going to show you, I got them all blocked off. You can't see names or anything, but I have it highlighted right here. So if what we hear is testosterone gets lower as we age, I'm just curious, what happened to this guy at 83? Okay, let's get this right here. Testosterone, 647 with a free testosterone of 8. Now, I honestly would like to see the free a little higher, because that's where, from a functionality standpoint, it really matters the most. But I think for an 83-year-old man, that's phenomenal. I have guys my age and younger who, I just had a guy come in, he was like 2-something. Even a more recent patient who was in the medical field. And he was like, "Dude, I would love to have my testosterone be that high." And we're going to help get that guy's testosterone up there. But don't buy into the fact that just because we get older, things decline and get worse. We see it all the time in here with the right information, the proper testing, and the correct execution. So meaning the patient has to involve themselves and apply this stuff. You can create restoration. That's what the Wellness Way is all about, is we are a network of restoration clinics. And so we're just the ones that do a better job at helping figure out these tough cases. And so it was pretty cool for Al to be hanging out today. He showed up about the time we were doing a read with a female who's literally had PCOS, or polycystic ovarian syndrome, since she was 14. Now, ladies, if you're watching and you know somebody, again, like and share this video and tag them and say, "Hey, I think you need to find out how to talk to a Wellness Way doc." We've got Dr. Jessica here, Dr. James, myself, anywhere. Find a Wellness Way doctor and talk to them about it, because it's not something you're going to be stuck with the rest of your life unless you don't change your perspective. And if you can get in touch with the Wellness Way doctor, we can help change that. And so here's a 31-year-old female. Again, blocked off, no personal information on here. This is a little window into her liver where a lot of hormone conversion takes place. Now, you might be going, "Well, how do I get tested like that?" Well, this is a very unique urine test that lets us see those hormone metabolites. So it's important to know what you're producing, but it's also important to know how your liver and body metabolize and break it down, because there is a conversion process in the liver where more of those hormones in a different way are made. And so this individual she was converting her testosterone to a more potent form. So that is a very common finding for polycystic ovarian syndrome, is that DHT can go up. And so the tendency, whiskers on the chin. "Hey, what's up, Jeff? We need to get in touch, because I know you were wanting to get some testing going. We got to get you started." And you'll see thinning of the hair. So a lot of times if a woman's DHT levels go up due to that, conversion, that's what you're going to see. Periods will be missed. Individuals will start taking drugs like Provera to get the progesterone going and create what they call a fake bleed. So, the interesting thing was, and we see this a lot with women, is they'll have to take that kind of medication to induce a menstruation. Well, that needs to happen every month, right? That's a normal way the tissue builds up and then sloughs off. And so without the right information, it's going to be impossible to get her liver pathways working right. So she had an enormous amount of excess estrogen metabolites, the testosterone metabolites, DHEA, so very androgen dominant. But then we also get a cool picture of how her adrenal system is working. So, basically they are overloaded, stressed to the max, and then we see, basically her circadian rhythm. And so her body was really dumping a ton of cortisol into the blood. Her free cortisol was up, and her struggle was the weight, the whiskers, and just not really having a normal period. And so all of that too can lead to infertility issues. So, you might wonder, well, what in the world would a chiropractor have to do with infertility? Well, I know tons of individuals who became chiropractors because adjustments alone helped get them pregnant. Female ones, that is. I mean, we contribute too, right?
Yeah.
A little bit. But there also is a component outside of the spine where we need to look at the immune response, hormones, the liver, all those things. And that's what we do as a Wellness Way office, is we encompass all of that. So again, if you know somebody with PCOS, like, share, and tag this, because Wellness Way does have some great answers for that. Well, this was a cool male patient. Again, we've been working with him off and on for about 2.5 years. Was just run down when he came in. A lot of gut issues. I mean, literally when we're having kind of our initial engagement with him, I can just hear his gut just like, sound like a whale across from me, giving me signals, And so I knew right away, obviously, there's going to be some things we'll work with there. But when we started, his testosterone was 401, all right? That's the blue mark here. And his free testosterone was 5.6, so that's pretty low. And we had looked at some pituitary hormones, and we knew everything was okay there. So we just knew it was more of probably an inflammation and sugar issue. So for those of you who are watching, males, I'm telling you, sugar will absolutely destroy your testosterone and the morning salute, if you catch my drift, right? So if you want a good morning salute, you got to get off the sugar and get rid of the inflammation. So just recently went over some new labs with this young man of 66, soon to be 67, and he is now at 637 and a total free, or a testosterone free, of 10.4. So there you have it, you guys. Here are two aging men, a 67 and an 83, doing quite well as they age. Now, granted, we got to remove some triggers and stressors, which helped push them in the right direction that created restoration. So one of the things I want to continue to encourage you guys, what's one of our most famous analogies?
The carpenter and the fireman?
Yes, the fireman and the carpenter. Hello, Sheila. I actually just had that conversation with an MD. He loved it. He thought that makes perfect. I mean, he almost took the words right out of my mouth. And he said, I love it. I think it's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And I said, and here's why most people continue to stay sick. Hello, Haley. That's Heidi's sister.
Oh, nice.
Is they keep going back to the fire department for restoration. I mean, who here would call the fire department to restore your basement or rebuild your house? Nobody would. They don't have the right tools or the right education to do that. And so you need to call a carpenter. And that is what the Wellness Way practitioners are. We are doctors of restoration. So again, if we can appropriately test you guys, find out, completely what's going on with your physiology, we can then create a plan for you to help move you back towards restoration and rebuilding. Because you even heard it today when I ask most clients, so what's your doctor's plan for you going forward? What do they say?
Exactly what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I have no plan.
Yeah.
Or keep coming back and give me more drugs. Well, interesting enough, if those plans worked, they would not be sitting across from us having that conversation to do something different. So, hello, Annika. So anyways, you guys, again, I know you hear a lot of the same message, not only from us over and over again, but from all the Wellness Ways, is we're going to continue to repeat it until more and more people act on it. And so I want to continue to encourage you guys, if you're hearing something similar to this message, like, hey, just get used to what's going on in your body, that's just part of aging, it's time to fire your doctor. Or if you hear something like, hey, you know what, you can't get rid of PCOS, it's time to fire your doctor. Or, hey, you can't have a baby unless you take some drugs and go the other way. Whatever the case may be, or you can't get over a food allergy. I mean, I'm here to tell you, I went from 31 to 11, so you can change that. You just have to start to think differently and take a different approach. And so I encourage you, if it's not with us, find a Wellness Way office that's local to you and start a new journey today, because it is extremely transformational. You got to hear me get pretty fired up with a patient towards the end of the day. I thought I would be a little more fired up. I mean, I can kind of get a little more calmed down when I get on these videos. It honestly it's frustrating. I feel for what many of you go through, because it doesn't have to be that way. And I'm going to continue to particularly reach out to men, because again, I'm on the closer side to 50 and I literally feel in my early 20s. But it's only because I applied these principles consistently. I mean, really my full journey with all this started about 3.5 years ago. And I thought I was going to kind of have to hang it up. My shoulder was a mess, my wrist was a mess, and I was not happy with how my body was performing. And so I finally, found the Wellness Way, made the changes, and I wish I'd have been able to do it sooner. So I'm excited for Al and other students like himself that they're going to get to start practice this way and really make a difference in people's lives. So again, for those of you who are patients of ours and in the office on a regular basis, you'll probably get used to seeing guys and gals like Al who come up, and we use our facility as a teaching opportunity to train and bring the Wellness Way message to more and more people. So what do you think? You going to go back to your home state when it's all said and done, or?
That's my plan.
Opportunities.
That's my plan,
So yeah, there's I think about 4 or 5 Wellness Way clinics in
there's a good portion.
Tennessee now.
Yeah.
So like 2 or 3 in the Nashville area, one up north there. Dr. Dale's in Clarksville. Is that about an hour north of Nashville?
Yep. And then
Got the Mosleys in Hendersonville. And then Knoxville. Is there one? Yeah, Memphis. So yeah, go to thewellnessway.com. You can find one near you. And if you can't drive to one, guess what? Pick up the phone. We do lots of consults. That way we can ship labs to you. We can ship supplements to you. That's what I love about the Wellness Way. Either way, we're going to make it happen and get you on the right track. So appreciate you guys hopping on tonight. And we'll look forward to catching up with you next week. Make sure you hop on tomorrow, because I believe Dr. Jesse will share some words of wisdom, probably about some more hormone stuff. I know we've been talking about menopause. She's got an interesting story about a dog bite that I'm excited to actually, it'll be a great fireman carpenter conversation. I mean, she had to kind of go to the fire department. And so I'm looking forward to her sharing her experience with that, so that you guys understand how we apply that principle and analogy even with ourselves. So anyways, you guys have a great day. Doc and I are going to go home and finish up dinner for the rest of the family, eat some good stuff tonight, and then come back and train tomorrow. So you guys have a great evening, and we will be in touch. And I look forward to seeing any new faces and stuff on here. Looking forward to reaching out and touching base. So thanks for following. We'll see you guys later.